Oftentimes, you want space between two parts in CAD, also known as an offset. In this lesson, we're going to go over offset planes and how to project a sketch onto them. So let the lesson begin. On the last lesson, we successfully created an assembly that we moved our Arduino component into, and then we tied it to the origin. Now we're ready to create the bottom of our box. However, there is one last thing. I didn't model in the pins that stick through the bottom of our Arduino. And when it lays flat, the pins make contact. So what I want to do is create space or an offset away from the bottom of the Arduino for the bottom of the box so we have clearance. Now I can go ahead and take calipers and measure this, and then we'll talk about how we can create that clearance. So with the calipers, I see about 80 thousandths of an inch. What we're going to do is create an eighth of an inch spacing in there that is going to give us proper clearance. So when we go into CAD here, we're going to see that we have that Arduino. We're going to go up to the ribbon and we're going to see construction up here. Clicking on that, we're going to see offset plane. Now this is the one that we're going to use. However, there's lots of different construction planes that are available to you. I highly urge you to go through and read each tip that's on those so you understand what's available. Let's go ahead and click offset plane. This is going to pop up that window. All we're going to do is we want to click on the flat object in which we want to create an offset for. Clicking on the bottom of the Arduino, we're going to get a dimension that pops up. We're going to give it that eighth of an inch and hit enter. Now we can see we have that plane offset off the bottom of the Arduino, as well as in the tree on the left, we're going to see that we have a new construction category with plane underneath it. Always remember that right-clicking on these, you can edit later on to change that value if you need to. Now that we have the offset plane, we can go ahead and start creating the sketch for our box. Now, one thing that I want to do is I want to reference that Arduino so that we're making sure that all of our holes are in the proper place as well as the box is the proper size. So to do that, what we're going to do is go to Create and we're going to go to Project. Projecting allows us to take an image and project it onto another object, say like a plane that we're doing our sketch. Clicking on the bottom of our Arduino, we can now see that those holes in the outside of the object is now on that sketch or that plane that we just created on that offset. Clicking OK on that, we're still in our sketch, but we have a nice proper duplication of our Arduino down there. Let's go ahead and create a rectangle that goes around the Arduino. This is going to be the outside of our box. Now we're going to use the Arduino edge to do an offset of about 1/4 of an inch around the outside. This will be a nice little spacing that we can have here. Clicked on the wrong thing there. Now we can create that spacing that we need to have a little bit of a shell around the outside. All right. Now that we've done 3 sides, the side that I want the charge ports and the USBs to stick through, I actually want them to be flush with it, or at least flush with the charge port. This will allow us to kind of get our cables through there and cut our holes a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is go to Constraint, and we're going to tie a corner of that charge port to the edge of our part. And now we have a nice rectangle that is going to allow us to have the proper size for our bottom of our box. We're going to go to Extrude, and we're going to select each profile that we have in here. Now what I'm going to do also is select the mounting holes because I would like to put those in later. They are going to negatively affect our shell that we're going to be doing in the next step. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get there. Now that we're in the extrude feature, we're going to do something new with extrude. We're going to have a multi-directional extrude that we're going to be able to go both directions at a distance that we dictate. So we're going to go in here to 2-sided underneath direction. This is going to allow us to have 2 different independent arrows. We can pull down. I want it to be down about 1/8 of an inch. And what I would like it to be is up about 1 inch. This is going to give us nice proper spacing and allow us to have some room to make the lid. Now, one thing that we want to do is make sure that we select the operation to be a component. Now, component we did because we want to keep cleanliness inside of our drawings. We talked about that a little bit in chapter 1. It's always important. If you don't remember that, go back and watch that video as well. Now that we have the new component created, we can go back over here to our tree. Let's go ahead and double click on this and just name it ARD bottom box. so that we have a little bit of cleanliness since we're going to create another component after this one. Now, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to introduce a shell feature that's going to create an internal void for Arduino to sit in, and we're going to show an analysis feature that allows us to see kind of what's going on inside. So we'll see you on the next one.